Sorry, but why would you ever post that? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so the absolute unthinkable has happened, right? The nice guy of YouTube, Vikkstar123, or at least the nice guy of the UK scene, has found himself in a bit of controversy. Now you're probably wondering, does Vikkstar have some horrific allegation against him? Has he said something diabolical on the internet? No, he's used AI and people are not happy about it. I'm not going to sit here and act like using AI in any way, shape or form is like one of the worst things you can possibly do, and that, you know, Vikkstar's one of the worst people I've spoken about, right? That would just be unjust. People use AI for memes and all that type of stuff, but I think there's more of an issue when it comes to something like Vikkstar's done, which is, you know, done a full music video with AI, which of course takes jobs away from people. I'm not necessarily saying that, you know, Vikkstar's YouTube video here took jobs away from people. I'm just kind of saying it just in general when it comes to this use and application of AI. I'm not even saying Vikkstar's a bad guy for doing this. From all accounts, from people that have met Vikkstar and spoke to him, he's a pretty nice guy. Before we actually get into the AI video and this music video itself, Vikkstar has left a comment on this, you know, clearing a few things up. Also for clarity, weeks of human artistry went into this project, from writing, mood boarding, to animating building models, rendering scenes, re-rendering them, and editing. AI will inevitably be part of our future, and I wanted to experiment with it here. And people are still mad at me, and I think a lot of people are going overboard just with AI in general, right? How they talk to people about AI when someone just uses it for a meme or whatever. I do think at times it can go overboard, and I think to a certain extent some people are over-exaggerating this. I just find it incredibly funny, and you're going to see why. But I don't think witch hunting Vikkstar for, you know, experimenting with some AI on his channel is the right way to go about it. We're not dealing with a Kwebbelkop here. He isn't trying to, you know, make his whole like existence AI based. He's just experimented it in his own words. I put different music over the top of the AI slop music video because not only do I not know the copyright to do with Vikkstar's music, but also I'm trying to save your ears from hearing Vikkstar's music. I think the thing that gets me, right, is that it just looks awful. It looks incredibly funny, it gives me the Kwebbelkop vibes, and it just isn't necessary. Vikkstar didn't need to do a music video here if he didn't really want to go out and film one. It just wasn't necessary. And it's not just that it's AI, it's just that it looks awful. Like, genuinely, was any of that meant to be Vikkstar? It just doesn't look anything like Vikkstar, and what's it doing? It just looks awful, right? It's just a genuinely bad choice to go with AI for something like this, because it just isn't there yet to be able to accomplish something like this. It looks awful. I get, you know, wanting to experiment with AI. I think the majority of people, even the people that are so against AI, right, have experimented with AI in some way, shape, or form. But this just wasn't it, and wasn't the way to go about it. It just confuses me, right? Because how did Vikkstar look at this and go, yeah, this looks great, right? We're going to use this. Or as well, surely Vikkstar should know that in the current climate of, you know, people's thoughts and AI, that this probably wasn't going to garner a good reception. Not only that as well, this is connected to his music. Does he want people to take his music seriously? Because this did not tell me that he wants people to take his music seriously. Because I was laughing throughout this when I saw this originally. Now, Vikkstar did say there was like human involvement, right? There were mood boards and all that other type of crap, right, for this music video. Now, I want to know if that just means that they put in a few prompts into AI, right? That they created these said mood boards, right? And loads of people created these mood boards, put some ideas, and then they just put them into AI prompts. I'd just be interested to see where the human involvement actually is within this music video, because it just does seem the large majority of it to be AI. And I just don't know why Vikkstar went down the AI route. It's not like he can't afford people to make this music video, it just comes across as laziness. I get wanting to experiment with AI. I've experimented with AI in the past, right? I've done a fair share of stupid AI memes that I've sent to a group chat with my friends, right? I think a lot of people have done that, but it's just a really weird route to go down when you have the money to make a proper music video if you really wanted to. At the time of recording, Vikkstar hasn't responded to any of the hate revolving around the AI, and genuinely there is a lot of it, which we'll be getting into in a bit, but he's only been responding to, you know, bits of hate about his music video just in general and his music. There have been lots of harsh feedback and reactions to Vikkstar's use of AI. Now, I do think a lot of it is over the top, right? Whilst I do think, you know, this is a critiquable and condemnable thing. A lot of people are going a little bit overboard with their critiques. You can tell it's AI because it's possibly the most soulless music video I've ever seen. You ask someone 10 minutes after they've seen this what it's about, the most they could say is it's lasers and weird faces. I mean, I think that one's completely valid, right? I could not tell you anything about the music video apart from that it looks awful and that it is clearly AI generated. There's just no, actual effort's been put in here. This is the biggest case of creative bankruptcy I think I've ever seen. How are you not creating a single frame of your own video? Comment is completely wrong because Quibblecop exists, so Vikkstar could never even get close. Hey man, I've been a long time viewer and I really appreciate the stuff you've been putting out and your shift in music has been inspiring to see. But this AI generated music video is not it. There's something really uncanny about it and it takes away from the originality of your music. Hope in the future you could put some time in creating videos with directors, producers, animators, but what does it matter? I'm just some random guy on the internet. It all looks entirely AI generated. Mood boards may have been made, but they just look like someone's used them as prompts for an AI generator. This is shameful and a disgrace to real artistry. Yes, AI is becoming more present, but you don't have to promote something that is heavily impactful on both the environment and artists themselves. And that's pretty much anywhere you look, that's pretty much the most common criticism of this whole Vikkstar AI thing. But what alerted me to this whole Vikkstar thing in the first place was a video that has gone, semi-viral. It's got about 500,000 views, it's got about 36,000 likes, going over the whole Vikkstar AI thing, and at times I think the critiques are, I think they over-exaggerate at times.
Vikkstar123 just released a new music video and it is AI generated. Not stylized, not enhanced, fully made by just machines. And I'm just going to say it, for someone who is one of the wealthiest YouTubers in the UK, who's built an empire with the Sidemen and is constantly surrounded by real creatives, real musicians and real directors, this is disgusting.
Okay, choice of words here is pretty important, right? Because I think calling it disgusting is maybe a bit over-exaggerating it, right? But I do get his point, right? He's surrounded by lots of creative people, and I'd probably say this is maybe an ignorant, arrogant, and dumb decision to make.
It's not futuristic, it's not clever, it's creative bankruptcy, and it's a moral failure. I've met Vic twice, and he was nothing but respectful, no ego, humble, but this hits different, because I'm friends with so many talented directors, cinematographers, editors, choreographers, people who pour everything into their craft, often for scraps. People who would have killed just for the opportunity to bring something unique and creative to life like this.
Like I said, I do think it's a bit of a weird choice he decided to go with AI instead of just hiring people, especially because he's got the money. But I don't think this was a malicious thing, I just think he's being a bit ignorant.
Vic could have made something incredible. He could have worked with real artists, won real awards and had a real vision. Instead, he hired a guy that calls himself an AI video director, typed a few prompts into a machine and called it a day. And Vic's peers, KSI and Toby, they make music too, and they worked with real artists. Actual human ones with dancers, sets, storyboards, and directors.
And on that guy that Vikkstar hired, he claimed that he spent 4 weeks on this. If he is telling the truth and he genuinely spent 4 weeks on this and that was the result, that's maybe why you've only got 400 followers on Instagram.
But Vic decided to go the AI route, and do you know what's worse? He clearly knows the backlash he would get, because there was no promotion. No Instagram posts, no tweets.
I mean, I don't want to be a dick, right, but the guy has got this wrong. There was a tweet that was posted, nothing on his Instagram as far as I can personally see, but he did tweet this out, so, you know. But I do agree, right, that he probably knew to a certain extent the backlash that he would be receiving, right, because Vic isn't a stupid person, right. I do think maybe he's a bit naive here, though, right. I do genuinely think that, because from all accounts, Vikkstar seems like a pretty good person. And again, I'm not saying that, if you use AI, that makes you one of the worst people on the planet, or that, you're morally bankrupt just in general, right? You're an awful, terrible person, right? I think a lot of people go too far in that respect. But I think more it's about the fact that he had all the tools at his disposal. He had the money, he had the friends, he had everything that he could. If he genuinely wanted to make a good music video, he could have done. And at the end of the day, it's just incredibly lazy, and he realistically didn't need to do this whatsoever, right? It's not like he's a small 1 subscriber channel, right? Who, just wants to experiment with a bit of AI, has no idea what they're doing, doesn't have the funds, right? They're maybe a younger person, isn't experienced. We're talking about somebody who's got 7 million subscribers, is, very well off, and surrounded by loads of other music creators and just content creators and directors in general. Now, like I say, in all situations like this, I'd be very interested to see what Vikkstar would have to say in response, but I highly doubt that he would respond. Bar this 500,000 view video, there's no really videos going over it. He has received a bit of backlash on Twitter and lots in his comment section, but bar that, there hasn't been loads. But everybody watching, what are your thoughts on this? Please feel free to comment down below, and whilst you're down there, please consider smacking that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on a future upload. But I've been your host Samuel, and I'll catch you in the next YouTube video.